Hi everyone, welcome back to next session. Today we are going to start a new unit. So the title of the unit is rings, fields, and polynomials. So in our first unit we discussed about groups. So the extension of groups is called rings. Extension of ring is called field, and then we are going to discuss some problems based on polynomials. So this is what the idea about this unit. So what are all the content of this unit? So we are going to discuss about definition of rings and examples and some properties, subrings and its problems, field. On the field we may discuss the zero divisor, integral domain, like that we are going to discuss important formulas and the definitions. Then ring homomorphism, polynomial rings, irreducible polynomials over finite field, and lastly factorization of polynomials over finite fields. So these are all the major content of this unit. Now what is the definition of rings? So it's very simple guys. Already in our previous unit we discussed about group. No, what do you mean by group? It's supposed to satisfying closure property, associative property, existence of identity and inverse. Suppose commutative ordered means the group is called abelian group. Am I right or not? Such a way, in ring also we are going to discuss some problems. Here we have to separately going to have the formula for plus as well as dot. That means addition and multiplication. In additionally, distributive property is also added. This is what the definition of ring. So let us start the definition of rings. A non-empty set R with two binary operations plus and dot is said to be ring if it satisfying the following axioms. What is the first one? R plus is an abelian group with identity 0. So abelian group means just now I explained. And second one, R is a semi group with respect to multiplication. That's what I said. R dot is a semi group. Third point, the operation dot is distributive over plus. So wherever two symbols are there, we have to use the distributive technique. So how can I apply that? A dot B plus C is equal to A dot B plus A dot C, and B plus C dot A is equal to B dot A plus C dot A, where this A, B, C belongs to a real number R. I think in our previous semester PCN of PDNF also, in place of a plus we may use R, in place of dot we may use and, like that also you can remember this technique. Clear? Now what about R dot? R dot is a semi group. What is the expansion form for that? A comma B belongs to R means A dot B belongs to R. That is closure is existing. And associative, A dot B dot C is equal to A dot B dot C. And distributive, A dot B plus is equal to A dot B plus A dot C. And B plus C dot A is equal to B dot A plus C dot A. So overall, for checking ring, we have to check these 9 conditions, right? So look at some example for ring. So the integer z plus dot, q plus dot, r plus dot, and c plus dot. So here z means integer, rational number, real number, complex number are all rings with respect to addition as well as multiplication. If r plus dot is a ring, then the singleton set 0 is the subset of R. A is itself a ring, which is called the null ring or zero ring. And in this slide, we are going to discuss some definition of rings. So now we are going to discuss about what do you mean by commutative ring. A ring R plus dot is said to be commutative if A dot B is equal to B dot A for all AB belongs to real number. For all AB belongs to R ring. Definition of ring with identity. A ring R plus dot is said to be a ring with identity if there exist an elements 1 belongs to R. That is what identity with respect to multiplication. 1 belongs to R such that we could write A dot 1 is equal to 1 dot A equal to R for all A belongs to R. Now zero divisor and integral domain, that is very important definitions. So this is the definition of zero divisor. In a commutative ring, it's not ordinary ring, commutative properties also existing. That is the reason I explained about commutative definition. In a commutative ring, or if for any AB belongs to S such that A not equal to 0, B not equal to 0 implies AB not equal to 0, then the ring is without zero divisor. It's very simple. We can take two non-zero element, and if you are applying closure property, or if you are applying A dot B, A cross B, you will get answer is also non-zero. In other way, in a ring without zero divisor, A dot B equal to 0. So take, which implies what? A equal to 0 or B equal to 0. So through one example I will explain this, right? Next one is integral domain. A commutative ring R with identity and without zero divisor is called the integral domain. So a commutative ring without zero divisor is called the integral domain. That is what the definition. Look at the example. Z5. Z5 means integer modulo 5, right? So here it will take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the count. It will start from 0 and ended at 4. The 5 elements will be there here. Under plus 5 and under addition 5, we are going to prove this one is integral domain. So what we supposed to do? It's very simple. Write 0 to 4 in the row wise as well as column wise. Simply add on with these two. So 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 2, 2, 0 plus 3, 0 plus 4. You can write. Similarly, add 1 with this. We'll get 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 here. Finally, 1 plus 4, what will come? 5 will come. So that 5 maximum value here, what this one is integer modulo 5, no? So 5 minus 5 becomes what is 0, because it is inverse to each other, right? Or suppose if it is multiplication, means 5 divides 5, there is no remainder. For remainder will becomes what is 0 here. Similarly, add 2 with everyone. 2 with 0, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 2 plus 2, 4, 2 plus 3 means 5, remainder 0, 2 plus 4, 6, remainder what will come? 1 will come, because maximum 5, this is integer modulo 5, so remainder 1 will come. Then 3 plus 3 means 6, remainder 1. 3 plus 4, 7, so maximum 5 terms only is there. So 7 minus 5, 2, or remainder 2. Finally, 4 plus 4, 8, remainder 3. So look at the each and every rows. The identity element 0 will be there with respect to addition, right? So you can, what is the meaning of integral domain? It does not contains zero divisor. You check zero divisor property here. I have taken non-zero term a not equal to 0. Here what is, for example, I have taken 1 and 4. 1 is non-zero. In here I have taken 4. This is a not equal to 0, b not equal to 0. While I am applying, I am getting what? 0 is the answer here. So those terms are, so here itself we could understood what is zero divisor and what is integral domain. Clear? Now we are going to start the definition of field. A commutative ring R with identity in which every non-zero element has multiplicative inverse is called a field. So in whatever the definitions we discussed for ring, the same we have to take here. In addition, multiplicative inverse is also added. So such a definition is called field. So what are all the examples of field? Q plus dot, R plus dot, C plus dot are the field. Z plus dot is an integral domain but not field. Okay, because previous slide only we discussed it, integral domain. So the definition, some important theorems are there. Every field is an integral domain. Similarly, any finite integral domain is only the field. So these are all some definitions of field and examples of field. Some properties of congruences. Even in number theory also we have discussed many problems, many definitions like that. So if A is congruent to B mod n and C is congruent to D mod n, we can add up, we can subtract, we can multiply the left hand side as well as right hand side of this one. So that is what we have done here. So we'll discuss one problems based on rings. Find 25 power minus 1, that is 25 inverse in the ring Z72. So we could not write Z72 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on 72. It is highly difficult, right? For solving that, you take this number 25 and 72. You just find out the GCD for that. So fortunately, the GCD of this 25 and 72 is 1 because these two numbers are relatively prime. Okay, I hope you would have remembered the Euclidean algorithm. N is equal to B or A is equal to BQ plus R. Here 72 is the number I have taken. Here the dividend is 72. So just apply division algorithm. So 2 times of 25 plus 22. So here that remainder always less than the divisor. Now keep it 25 as the dividend. Now apply division algorithm. 1 into 22 plus 3. Again 22 can be written as 7 times of 3 plus 1. I hope this can be easily understandable because we discussed in so many places in the number theory. Right. Now this is the last non-zero term is 1. So therefore the GCD is 1. Through this also we can find out GCD. Now we just apply reverse process for linear combination of the congruences technique we discussed. No, the same technique I am applying here. 1 is equal to keep it on keep it 22 on the left hand side, bring out the 7 times of 3 in the right hand side. We get like that. Now 22 minus, instead of 3, look at the second line. What we are having, 25 is equal to 1 time of 22 plus 3. So you just have 3 in the right hand side, bring out 1 times of 22 in the left hand side. Just I am simplifying. So multiplying minus 7 inside, you will get 22 minus 7 times of 25 plus 7 times of 22. So here 1 time 22, here 7 times 22 is there. We can add, so 8 times of 22 minus 7 times of 25. So again in the first line, 22 can be written as 72 minus 2 times of 25. So you just maintain minus 7 times of 25 as it is, right? So again multiply inside, 8 times of 72 minus 8 times of 2 becomes minus 16 minus 7 times. We can add this, we will get minus 23 times of 25. So here plus 8 times of 72 is there. So 72 is only our z value in our problem. So you keep it 8 times of 72 right hand side, bring out negative 23 in left hand side, you will get like that. So therefore which implies 1 plus 23 times of 25 is divisible by 72. Okay, now we can write 1 implies 1 is congruent to minus 23 25 of mod 72. This is what the notation for this, right? Now what will come 1 is equal to minus 23. So mod simply we can write 25. So bring out 25 left hand side, you will get 25 inverse equal to minus 23. This is what we are having in our problem. What we supposed to find out, 25 or minus 1. So as per the modulo technique, we do not have negative values in the negative value as the remainder. Am I right or not? So therefore here 72 is there. Then what will come? 72 minus 23 becomes what? 49. So therefore the inverse of 25 is equal to 49. This is the idea to solve the ring problem. Now we are going to discuss about the definition of subring. Let R plus dot be a ring. A non-empty subset S of R is said to be a subring of R if S itself is a ring with respect to the same operation plus and dot. Okay. In other words, S is a subgroup of R if S is a subgroup with respect to addition or plus, and S is closed under plus and dot. So this is what the simplest way to explaining the subring, right? So these are also some conditions. Next definition is ring homomorphism. Let R plus dot and S direct sum direct multiplication, or simply we can write plus dot be rings. A mapping F from R to S is called a ring homomorphism if f of A plus B is equal to f of A plus f of B, and f of A dot B is equal to f of A dot f of B. It's a ordinary homomorphism we discussed in our previous unit also. right? So it's very important one. So this is what the idea about this. So we discussed majorly a lot of definitions on this lecture, right? In next class we are going to discuss the problems based on polynomials and how to find out the roots and factors. Some important theorems we are going to discuss in the upcoming videos. Thank you.